When compositing visual effects, we frequently have to merge two or more single channel images, for example 2 masks. And for this we use the ChannelMerge node. You can see I've got a script open here. This is pretty much where we left off last time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click into an open space and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to choose the ChannelMerge node. And we'll come into it. Again, we can see that it's got 2 inputs. It's got an A input and a B input, so it's expecting 2 inputs. As I said before, it's a merge node of sorts, and so it will expect 2 inputs, and then it has a single output. So like before, I'm going to connect my viewer to the output. I'll just bring it over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect my A side to the RGBA read node, and I'm going to connect the B side to the foo read node. So we know that this channel merge is accessing the data from the RGBA layer. So the basic intention behind this node is to merge 2 alpha channels into one. If we just take a look at the node properties, what it's doing is it's taking the alpha channel from the A side of the input, and it's taking the alpha channel from the B side of the input, so it's bringing them both in here, and then inside the node it's actually combining them, making a union of them, and then outputting a union of the 2 alpha channels. Now if you don't want a straightforward union, you can actually come into here and you do have a few other options if you don't want a union, and these are sort of similar in many ways to blend modes that you might find in Photoshop, or actually on the standard merge node within Nuke. So they are blend modes of sorts. Irrespective of which operation you choose, the intent is effectively the same. It's essentially to merge 2 single channel images, which in this particular case is looking for the alpha channel of the RGB layer from both of these feeds, and then making a combination of both. So if we just take a look at the alpha channel of the RGB, we can kind of see what's happening here. Obviously one's overlapping another, so I think what I'll do just to deal with that is I'll just take my foo layer and just put a transform node on briefly, and just use that to move one of the layers out of the way of the other one, so we can actually see them together. So you already see the effect of the channel merge node. What it's effectively doing is it's merging the alpha channel from the RGBA layer, as if you remember, the alpha channel of the RGBA layer has the suffix alpha, and it's merging that with the alpha channel from the foo layer. And if you remember, the suffix of the alpha channel was D, red was A, green was B, etc. So we're already seeing a combination of those 2 alpha channels now being presented to us visually within the display. But let's just take a look at this. If we come back to our channel merge node, let's say for example with the alpha channel that I want to use the RGBA.green, and maybe on the B channel maybe I want to use RGB red. You can see that what's actually being presented as the alpha channel now is completely different. Effectively what this means is that we can use any channel as the alpha, and it therefore follows that it can be a really flexible and efficient way of creating procedural alpha channels, such as creating a matte from multiple masks or something like that. It effectively means that we're not confined by the term alpha channel. We can actually use those as containers and bring data in on those containers and then access them directly from these drop down lists. So this is a real flexible node for combining single channel image sets.